Game started.
Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. This is another Nation Wars qualifier between Team US versus Team Canada, and we are on the map Downs of Destruction. We have the map edge extension turned off today just to make things a bit more easier for you to see. Now you can see all the players have kind of drawn a huge bunch of lines on the map, but let's remove all those and make it a bit easier for you all to see. So in the south corner here for Team Canada, part of Team Ice, Team Kill. On the other side we have Sir Ice Cream 55 taking a bit of a long walk here to get into the water in this little, I don't even know what you'd technically call this, port area, I guess, inlet, starting on 2 metal extractors and 2 winds going straight in there. This is a bit of a dangerous position because obviously there's a path that goes straight across. Ezreal here in a double mech start, going bots and just trying to get a res bot out, expand as quick as possible, and Chrono flies starting on a single metal extract point and getting boats out as quick as possible. But as we can already see, not quick enough, as Team USA already has 4, 5, 6 boats out by the time that Chrono Flies has got 2 construction ships out. Now also on the Canada team we have Dark Clone, who has not built a factory whatsoever just yet, and is just focusing on getting the economy on this side. Now on the opposite side of the map, for Team USA, we have Sargras. Someone said in the comments last time how to pronounce this, and I've already forgotten. I'm terribly sorry. Sargras has done basically the same as Dark Clone, where they've not really done too much. They've got economy and then instantly started walking. Both players' priorities on either side is obviously to try and take these islands. You take these islands, you can hold pretty well, and this middle island is then free for you to capture with 5 metal points on the map. Quite important. Not only is that, but there is obviously 2 geos on these central islands as well. So definitely not something to forget about. Now, going back to Team US, we have Killer moving down on that right hand side towards Dark Clone. Started off with a bit of an initial economy and then it started walking, whereas Akamaru here did a different plan than Chrono and has gone for a start in the water, building tidals straight off the bat. And then Lovish has, I think, started in this corner here, built a bunch of metal, bunch of E, and then walked. Now a big difference between the 2 teams right now is that the US team has a single factory, boats, and this is the plan they used versus the highest seeded team on US, which we saw last week, where they kicked the US #1 team. They kicked their butt. So trying to get the same sort of plan here, whereas we did see the Canada team did go for 2 factories, but it seems like now they've removed that, and it looks like the reason they went for that is here to get the con turrets out and to get some res bots out, as well as expanding cons and so on. Now Sargas has done a good job positioning himself on this island, whereas for Canada over here, Dark Clone has left it a bit late to move, and because of that, Killer has been able to set foot on the islands. We are actually seeing subs used here as well. Early on you will see some subs, but I don't see them being used for too long. Seaplane Factory also
Commander
being planned
has
here.
Self-destructed.
A com did self-destruct here of Ezreal. Whether that's to push it into the Seaplane Factory, we'll see in a moment, I guess. It has been spotted though, and the sub manages to take out that seaplane factory, and that was quite a bit of metal in that. Where is the con that started it? There, seaplane. 1,450 metal. It was at halfway. So that's about 600, 700 metal there, just gone. And that will have been half of what that commander self-destructing. So losing, in essence, one of your lives for nothing is not a good play whatsoever. And he also ate it so much that there's not even a wreck left. He could have left with a single one metal. We could have rezzed it, but no. Meanwhile, Saragast has done a tremendous job at holding down this position. He's built a factory here with the intention of building the comms to kind of get more of this on the way and get these metal extractors and the geo. But this is providing a good position here to kind of hold down this front. It's going to be really difficult for Sir Ice Cream to push in there. And Team US is just doing a great job at harassing at this stage. Team Canada kind of struggling. We see Lovish here has already gotten a air factory built with the intention of probably getting this high terrain metal extractor and just being able to cap the other metal extractors as quick as possible. Obviously air is very, very quick, but at the same time has very low build power. And at the moment, Team US does have a very strong position here. Saragast looked like he was about to try and head down here and take the metal extractor, but that would be a bit of a foolish move on his part. Seems he's also eaten the vehicle lab he had here. This one lasher is going to be enough to be annoying. Saragast being in a interesting position as both players building harpoon defenses. That assault frigate will probably stop that. Yep. Question is now is how much damage will Saragast take as the torpedo launcher goes straight for Saragast's comm. And this is not looking good for Saragast, down to 52% health. 46 goes to Cloak and D-Gun. And the Cloak is enough for him to get away. And the rocket truck was destroyed there. Does the job it needs to do. We can see that the Canadian team are struggling here quite a bit. The US team has a pretty strong control of that. Well, I can't really say they've got control of that island, but there is zero pressure coming from Dark Clone. You can see most of these metal extractors are completely left open. I really feel like the Canadian team could do with some land forces just purely to apply some pressure along there. There's no pressure being applied whatsoever. Now, big difference between the two teams at this point. We're seeing Ezreal has gone Tech 2 up. With Tech 2 is going to mean Tech 2 metal extractors, which is going to mean a lot more boats coming out here. Not only that, but Lovish is obviously still with Tech 1 air. But when we look at the stats between the two players, we see 45% difference between the two. Metal extractors from Tech 2 is going to start paying off dividends here and helping Canada catch up. Energy is fairly even. Build power is a little bit advantage to US. Main point here is the metal produced. 4k difference at the moment. Army value though is a huge amount different, and that is where a lot of that metal produced difference will be. But also don't forget is that the blue team, sorry, the Canadian team lost about 600 metal very early on, and they're down a commander, so they are in a not great position. The question is how long it takes them to notice that Tech 2 is around. You can see that the Lich seems to be planned to go here and then move across. None of the naval fighting is really taking place too much here. Both teams have resurrection subs here with the intent to keep things healed up. these 4 subs that are just being controlled by Dark Clone here being enough to really cause issues, you could say, for Akumaru. Yeah, Killer getting some torpedo defenses up here would do Chrono a displeasure, that's for certain. And these destroyers aren't able to close distance on the submarines enough to cause them problems. And here comes the atomic bomber. Managed to kill 2 destroyers there in a single bomb. 2 of them are still left alive. A bit of an interesting choice though to use an atomic bomber on the Navy rather than going for some form of strategic target. Death subs being targeted by the ships there. Obviously Chrono unable to use his D-gun whilst underwater. The second atomic bomber comes in and second wave of the bomber, and that gets a huge amount of value actually, killing a lot of ships. And it's quite a surprise, but 2.1k of metal there, and that has gotten a lot for what it was. But it seems to me like US's plan is shifting here. With a transition to Tech 2, it looks like they may be planning to push the land area of Team Canada. Team US holds 3/4 of the map at this point. And this is a very strong position here. They kind of need to get Tech 2 air up themselves so they can really contest this. Tech 2 air will also enable them to cap off their mexes and make them Tech 2 a lot quicker. They can't really risk losing air superiority here. And as he says that, we see Levish send all of his fighters into the base of Israel and get instantly shot down. Some torpedo defenses built on the shores here, causing some harassment. Destroyers will just kill them at range though, so they're kind of mainly only useful against the eels, at least build that close to the shore. You don't quite have to build them that close. You could build them a bit further in and then they still shoot. It's a little bit weird seeing the like projectile bounce, but still. Maybe thinking Akumaru's area here has got a little bit too many of these herrings. And now Sir Ice Cream has basically pointed out that, look, there's Tech 2 here. We need to be a little bit worried about that. Oh, but this Quaker's going to die pretty quickly here. Yeah, there's one dead already. Neither team seems to be really willing to push past this halfway line, or this line that has been drawn. So I guess also given some boats here to micro, which is not what I was expecting. And with two, Chronoplus was about to go for a self-destruct there to manage to try and take out this army, or sorry, this navy, technically. That was not what I was expecting. Looks like Chronoplus may try it again. 3, 2... Obviously, this gives them vision. They know the commander's there. They're trying to stay at range whilst keeping the destroyers able to shoot. And that is another commander dead. Canada down 2 commanders. But Tech 2C is coming up, and the very first battleship is about to leave the dockyard. Meanwhile, Akumaru still on Tech 1. Is this team put tall on Tech 2 anywhere? Not really. Taragas built Tech 2 for a little bit and then reclaimed it. They have an excess metal. They're doing well on all of the numbers, yet they're still looking a little bit weak. Killer's comm now also out of position, but if uncareful... Well, actually, Killer's comm is in a very interesting position here. So is Akumaru's. Akumaru's is going for the reclaim. Killer is going here to try and interdict Dark Clone if Dark Clone pushes across. And if these two commanders trade, then there's only one commander left for the Canada team, which is Sir Ice Creams. Ooh, abductors. Now that's a dangerous thing to go up against. Have to be careful of the D-gun about to come in from Dark Clone. He's ready in position. Dark Clone aware that Killer's there. He is aware there's a dot there. He knows he's there. Looks like Killer's going in for a D-gun on the advanced fusion here. And that's going to be a big hit metal, and this commander is now with no ground units at all, just free to roam around and do damage. 7.7, basically 7.8 K's worth of metal here though right now. And barely any torpedoes, but running out of Tech 2 is going to be a problem. Akumaru's comm also in a bit of a precarious situation as the destroyers overhead. What is Akumaru's plan from there? The thing is, if Zagreus can get close enough to Ice Cream and just trade, and the same thing takes place down here with Killer and Dark Clone, that's it. Canada loses. LLT is not positioned in a great way, and Killer's going to get both of them with a D-gun here. And he's not going to be able to get much more value here as the ticks swarm him. Should have tried to hug Dark Clone sooner.
Commander died.
And that's one less comm for Canada to deal with. And a bunch of reclaim. Aku's comm will not be much longer for this world either. And now a big advantage that they had will be gone. Surprisingly going for a capture here, and if this works, that would be hilarious. Kamaru also goes down. Now 2-2. Bit of a mistake there, I would argue, from Team US. A long-range plasma cannon also built by Zagreus here. They really do not like this hill. I don't know why. They've got nothing to push through here. It seems a bit of a waste to put so much stuff here when you can't really do much with it. Meanwhile, as both teams are kind of... Well, the spectator here has pointed out, this whole side basically has nothing. You just push through relatively easily here by either one. Also, it seems... Oh, the wreck was left with 5% left, specifically so they could res it if they needed that extra commander. Very smart move. A game like this where, you know, you're trying to win for your country. Don't want to risk losing this. Now, we do have Cortex versus Armada ships, and it is generally seen that Cortex battleships are superior to Armada battleships when it comes to a slug-off. Now, this LRPC is in a bit of a precarious position now as it's about to get attacked by a bunch of battleships. Might be high enough away that it doesn't have to deal with it. What are they ground firing? I know it's there. I think this battleship might not have range. Could build a shield here, and that would also do quite well. We can see the red team currently, though, accessing no metal at all, but doing pretty well with their metal. Battleship's kind of ground firing. Zacharias being a bit risky here, going in with his comm with an attempt to degun. Will he be able to pull it off? Manages to get the battleship. The commander down really low health, 3%.
Commander died.
And the commander does go down, leaving Team USA with a single commander left. And that's Mr. Lovefish just to the north. Now, all is not lost for Team US. Commander is in a safe spot right now, and it can be rezzed. But a lot of mistakes happening here. Losing more and more ground. Bear in mind that at one point, you know, the map was kind of like this very strongly. Now these waterways are pretty evenly contested. Although saying that, Chronoplast did lose a decent chunk of ships. You see a dead Corsair here. That's another dead assault frigate. 2 more assault frigates. Oh, battleship dead there as well. There's a lot of battleships to be killed, and there's 3 battleships on their way down. There was a missile ship that was sent over to deal with this advanced geo. This long-range plasma cannon is just peppering this Tech 2 shipyard. They lose access to the water. Team Canada will be in a really tough spot, and here comes a huge bombing run. And that's the Tech 2 shipyard out. Question is, how much more damage are they going to be able to inflict with these bombers? Looks like they're going to focus on the build power here. Oh, the bombers are tucked in the fusion instead. And the lack of fighters that was produced from Team Canada, maybe they're undoing here. Flak was built very quickly, but they may still get the fusion. Yes, they do. Big economy damage. And the bombers, although still alive, probably won't get too much more. There you go. All of them get killed there, getting...
Commander died.
Okay, that's surprising. They get a big chunk there and build power. We saw Dark Clone's commander just died off screen here near this geo point, leaving it 1 con, 1 commander to... Oh, I was about to say 1-1, but Ezreal's con was not Ezreal's. That was someone else's commander resurrected. And it seems with that, even though they got the commander back, Team Canada calling the GG, being knocked out of the water. Just very, very well played there by Team US.
Commander has self-destructed.
There we go. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this game. Team game for a bit of difference. Don't forget, if you've got your own games you'd like me to see, feel free to pop them either a link to the bar website in the comments, give it to me on Discord, or pop it across to me in an email, and I'll give it a look. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.